Hi there, I'm Claire Bestland, and I'm a guitar slinger, singer-songwriter, and composer who a few years ago ran to the hills of Wakefield, Quebec, and never left. And I'm really glad I stayed, because today I get to be your host of Outaouais Live, the weekly arts magazine series devoted to showcasing the unique arts and culture of the Outaouais region of West Quebec. Each episode, we showcase artists of all practices, as well as venues, galleries, and cultural performance spaces from all over the rural region of the Outaouais. Now, ever since I came here, I've been wondering what it is about this area that attracts so many creative people of like mind. From artisans to craftspeople, to musicians, visual artists, painters, writers. Maybe there's something in the water. Now, if I keep talking like this, it might turn out you do have all day. But for now, why don't you kick back, relax, and come along for a ride with us to experience the artistic side of life right here on Outaouais Live. So here it is, our very first episode of Outaouais Live. Today we're going to have a really special performance by Chris McLean, Tina Terrien, and Elise Marlene, all accomplished songstresses in their own right. They've combined their efforts to perform for us as the Pagan Dames. And I'm sure you'll really enjoy the warm and inviting performance space at Grange de Gatineau in Cantley, Quebec, on the shores of the beautiful Gatineau River. We'll also be visiting Place des Artistes de Farrellton, an artist co-op of 16 different artists, and we'll be speaking to one of the artists there, Hanna Ranger, who specializes in felts and textiles, who's also involved in a project with our very own director of photography, Joey Wenkoff, who you'll also get to meet.
My name is Katia Sineas, and I am an event manager at Artistes de Farrellton. The Grange was an old barn that was located in Carleton's Place, so in Ottawa. It's 200 years old. It's one of the oldest barn in Canada. So it was due to be demolished, and the owner at the time really loved heritage. So he decided to bring it, to dismantle it and to bring it piece by piece in Cantley. Bob and Mary Ann Phillips, so the owner of the Grange, used to live here with their family, and in 2005 it became an event center. We've been receiving bands here for concerts for the last 13 years now. It fits 90 people. I know it looks pretty small, but it's impressive how many people can fit in. Let me introduce the Pagan Dames.
My name is Tina Terrien. I'm here with my trusty bass Bertha, and I'm here tonight with the Paugan Dames.
Hi there, I'm Chris McLean, and I'm also a proud member of Pagan Dames.
I am Elise Marlene, and I'm very happy to be a part of this Pagan Dames group with my lovely ladies here.
Several years ago, I was organizing music along with my husband for the Christmas market in Wakefield. And I was fairly recently, I had just moved to Wakefield. And I had always had this dream of singing with Elise Marlene and Chris McLean. I knew them for years prior to that, but I dared to, I thought it was pretty ballsy, but I dared to ask them if they would join me to sing a couple of songs at the Christmas market. And they said yes, much to my delight. And so the three of us went to that first Christmas market, however many years ago that was. And we did our 3 songs, as did all of the other artists. And then after we were finished, people said, "Oh, when's your next gig?" And oh, I guess we're a thing now. So it kind of, we emerged from the snow dust of the Wakefield Christmas market.
Yeah, and we had so much fun, practicing. Like, there's always wine and food involved, and sometimes there's more of that than there is music, actually. But I think that, we just became really good friends, and we have fun.
Yeah. And just about our name, Tina and Denis live in Low, Quebec, where we have the Paugan Dam. So that's how we became the Paugan Dames.
1, 2, 3, 4. keep it. Don't tell me who to become. Take your age-old wisdom with you to kingdom come. Degrees and all that education don't help where I come from. Born and raised in the booties beside the river, my home. Born and raised in the booties beside the river, my home. But ain't life sweet when we know what we're doing? Ain't life sweet when we're not afraid to care? Ain't life sweet when we know what we're doing? Ain't life sweet when we're not afraid to care? Tell me not to run with the wild ones. Tell me to speak real clean. Tell me to dress as straight as you and not to look so mean. Well, I've got deep feelings for those less worthy than you. Born and raised in the boonies and fed on Irish stew. Born and raised in the boonies and fed on Irish stew. City and one in the country too. Borrow one in Europe and visit one in Timbuktu. Yeah, you can have it all in a nutshell, held together with crazy glue. Make fun of me in my country shack and dismiss the things I do. Make fun of me in my country shack and dismiss the things I do. But ain't life sweet when we know what we're doing? Ain't life sweet when we're not afraid to care? Ain't life sweet when we know what we're doing? Ain't life sweet when we're not afraid to care? Ain't life sweet when we know what we're doing? Ain't life sweet when we're not afraid to care? Ain't life sweet when we know what we're doing? Ain't life sweet when we're not afraid to care? Ain't life sweet? Ain't life sweet? Ain't life sweet? Ain't life sweet? High on a mountain, winds blowing free, thinking about the days that used to be. High on a mountain, standing all alone, wondering where the years of my life have flown. As I look at the valleys down below, there's green just as far as I can see. As my memory returned, how my heart did yearn for you and the days that used to be. High on a mountain, winds blowing free, thinking about the days that used to be. High on a mountain, standing all alone, wondering where the years of my life have flown. Oh, I wonder if you ever think of me, or if time has blotted out your memory. As I listen to that breeze whisper gently through the trees, I'll always cherish
of my life have flown. As I flowed down the river aimlessly, thinking about my dear old friend Louis. Music fills the air, laughter everywhere. I'll always cherish what you meant to me. High on a mountain, winds blowing free, thinking about the days that used to be. High on a mountain, standing all alone, wondering where the years of my life have flown. High on a mountain, winds blowing free, thinking about the days that used to be. High on a mountain, standing all alone, wondering where the years of my life have flown.
Hi, I'm Iris Kiewiet. I'm an artist, have a studio here, and we're at Place des Artistes de Farrellton, also known as PAF.
My name is Patrick Thompson, and I have a studio here now, and I am the incoming president.
In 2013, there were a bunch of artists, 5, that were looking at a collective space to share studios, and there were not many buildings around, and a few investigated and saw this empty building. The PAF building, Place des Artistes de Farrellton, is an old school building that a group of artists started up, and we have many different disciplines, a potter, painter, and within the painters different techniques too, oil or acrylics, who else do we have? A photographer. The fun thing is that the building is fairly widespread, and the classrooms, like old classrooms, are fairly big in space and are wonderful for the light, but also the height is amazing to work in. From the beginning, PAF has offered some community initiatives in the form of open house, residencies, cultural events, classes, and with the pandemic, of course, some online events. So in November we had our open house online and offered some classes and an auction, and we're working with how to move through this to keep our connection with the community. Another part of PAF is a youth group that we have. This started in 2017 when we had a wonderful grant that Hanna Ranger put together and involved artists to give a symposium to the youth. So we immersed ourselves and the youth into art for several days, and this was such a great success, and the combination of youth coming here, exploring and having some guidance from artists was really amazing.
When COVID wraps up and everyone is inoculated, the summer season will commence with a series of events that will draw the community to PAF for a series of art workshops, activities, engagement projects that will enliven the building, not unlike projects that were done in the past. But there will be some drawing workshops, some painting workshops, opportunities to learn online, but also some engagement projects that will introduce people to the building who have recently moved to the region, and also to the beautiful surroundings around the building. The future holds some incredible opportunities, and I think as people move out of the city and realize that the city ain't all it's cracked up to be, there is more and more opportunity for people to get engaged who have free time, dreams, who want to live in an interesting community and involve themselves. And I think that PAF lies perfectly in the center of all of that.
My name is Hanna Ranger, and I am a felt maker, and we're in my studio at Place des Artistes de Farrellton. So in 2013, a group of artists and myself, we approached the school board, we met with the school board director, and we all got really enthusiastic about the space, and we decided to rent it. And then the following years, myself and a few other artists, we created the structure. We incorporated as a not-for-profit cooperative and started developing relationships with partners like the municipality of La Pêche and the MRC des Collines. And over the years, we started recognizing our capacity to be like a public good in the community and offering programming. And so I got really interested in the whole development of PATH, and it has been a big learning curve for me as well. It's really impacted my career and my path and how I saw myself becoming an artist in the world and going forward. Having this big, beautiful studio has enabled me to better share my space with people, although I became a felt maker through teaching. It's a very accessible medium. It helps people really access their creativity in a really sort of fun and unintimidating way. So when people come to my workshops, they can basically make whatever they want, and I will work with them based on sort of their experience level, their comfort level, and their vision to make what they want, something that they're going to feel good about. I was always exposed to art. My parents were hippies and raised us in a house in the country, and my mom wrote grant applications to be able to work with rural women doing art, and she was always exploring different mediums. So not just, crafty stuff. She was doing screen printing and etching and textile. She worked a lot in like textile, like batiking and like silk painting and that kind of thing. When I was in my early 20s, I did a lot of painting, and I took some courses at the New Brunswick College of Craft and Design. I had this amazing teacher, and I painted all the time. I sold work in local galleries, and I worked with other artists to create common spaces. I did all kinds of things. I got married, I had a baby, and when I had this little baby to take care of, I had an epiphany actually that I could be an artist, a professional artist, that made the most sense. I started messing around with felt, and in particular because I wanted to share it with some other women and children who are part of a group that got together to do projects like this. There's a woman named Barb McMillan. She started these Forgotten Arts workshops, and she had approached me about teaching a workshop maybe about herbalism, and I had said, there's another forgotten art that I'm really interested in. It's felt making, and I want to teach that through the Forgotten Arts. So that's how it started in the old Wakefield Community Center. And I would have like 15 people. I had just started teaching. I'd have like 15 people in this day-long workshop, and I was teaching pretty regularly, and it was a really popular course. And as I taught, I started to learn so much about this medium. And eventually I was asked to participate in an international textile event that was being organized by Moonrain Tapestry Center, the Triennale Internationale des Textiles de l'Outaouais, I think it was called. Anyway, it was the first one. They've done 3 since then, bringing artists from all around the world and pairing career established artists with upcoming emerging artists. So I was an emerging artist that worked with another artist, Jeanne Vaillancourt from Ottawa, and we created an installation in this amazing event. And that was it. That was the turning point. I got paid to work in this context with professional artists doing felting. And I just realized, this is it. This is my new medium. This is stuff from our natural world. It's like animal and plant. And I think that we respond to that when we see it. And as we get closer, we get drawn in. There's a luminosity. When hot water hits the fibers, the little barbs on the individual hairs within wool open up. And when you add friction to that, they start to tangle with each other. And basically, they start to, it's called fiber migration. It's like a physics term. And they squeeze out all the airspace from between the fibers, creating a solid mass. And so when you start putting different materials that behave differently, and each material migrates differently. So what the wool does is it grabs those materials, and depending on their coarseness, depending on their feltability, they'll create their own natural lines that are just so inspiring and that are reminiscent of the things that I want to create, like beautiful landscapes or beautiful objects in nature. And so for me, when I'm walking in nature, if I am driving, I'm on a road trip and I'm looking out the window, I am constantly recording the things that just excite me, please me. I feel really like I will see, for instance, in that longer wall hanging, I was just driving into Wakefield through Outaouais and saw this little patch of moss, this circular patch of moss with beautiful red dogwood growing up out of it as I was coming in from Outaouais into Wakefield. I'm like, I kind of felt that. And that sort of combined with this other tapestry that I had in mind, These are the things that it's not a specific place that I'm trying to create because I'm working with fiber and I want to use, like I said, just those wonderful organic lines. Those are the more important sort of base of my compositions, but I use those things that I see that inspire me as my guide for how to use the materials to make that happen.
Hi, I'm Joseph Wenkoff. I am shooting the series that you're watching. I approached Hanna to see if I could film a project with her collaboratively that would place the viewer inside of the art. So we invested in this snorkel lens, which gives you sort of a bug's eye view from very, very close, so that the viewer would get a feeling of being inside of one of the pieces of art. Initially, a goal of mine from the first time I ever saw one of Hanna's pieces, I really wanted to be surrounded by it. All these natural fibers that really remind me of an actual landscape, probably because a lot of it comes from actual landscapes.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
From waiting, Lord, I've been waiting so long. These blues have got me crying. Sweet Daddy, please come home. Snow falls round my window, but it can't chill my heart. God knows it died the day that you left. My dream world fell apart. Weary blues from waiting. Lord, I've been waiting so have got me crying. Sweet Daddy, please come home. These blues have got me crying. Sweet daddy, please come home. Sweet daddy, please come